Okay, namaste to all of you. What about my voice? Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, Today I'm taking lecture from Union Territory of Jammu, and let me discuss first brief history of Jammu. Uh, uh, Jammu city came to existence in around 900 C, and it was state of Dogras. Then dot dot dot. Then it comes to in custody of Gulab Singh and Maharaja Hari Singh, and after that, you people know the history of Jammu. So let me straightforward come to the topic today. Uh, Today I'm going to discuss all pair shortest path class of algorithm. So before giving an idea of all pair shortest path class of algorithm, let me discuss how this intuition is developed and how this concept of all pair shortest path algorithm came into the picture. Right. Till now, we have seen single source shortest path class of algorithm. In this, there was a source, then there was a destinations. Let us say there are D1, D2, D3, D5 destination. What we have done till now. With respect to this given sources, I have found shortest path to D1, D2, to D3, D4, and D5. What does it mean? With respect to some source, all the vertices that are supposed to be destination, I found shortest path to them. And uh, in this category, I have used two algorithms. First one was Dijkstra. First algorithm that I have used was Dijkstra. So what was constraint of Dijkstra? In Dijkstra, I'm allowed to take only positive weights of edges. No negative weight edges are allowed. Right. So what could be the intuition for all pair shortest class of algorithm? But before moving to that concept, there was one more algorithm that was Bellman-Ford. In Bellman-Ford, negative weight edges were allowed, but no negative weight cycle was allowed. Right. So please excuse me, I have to take some calls. In Bellman-Ford algorithm, negative weight edges were allowed, but no negative weight cycles were allowed. Right. So these were the two algorithms that we have discussed for single source shortest path class of algorithm. Right. Now my question to you people is, by using our existing knowledge, can we solve the all pair shortest path class of algorithm? But before having answer from your side, let me elaborate this problem. With respect to single source, I have a shortest path from S to D1. I have a path from S to D2. I have a path from S to D3. I have a path from S to D4. And I have a path from S to D5. Right. So can I have solution to this all pair shortest path class of algorithm by using our existing knowledge? What do I mean by that all pair shortest path class of algorithm? It means I have a path from S to D1, D1 to D2, D2 to D3, whatever combination you can think of, D4, D5, all pair shortest path. Right. So my question to you people is, can I have solution by existing knowledge, what we have gained till now? That means by using single source shortest path class of algorithms. Anybody from your side will try to make an attempt?
Yes, so Dijkstra's gives us path from one node to all other nodes. We can use Dijkstra's on
From
all
one
nodes,
source, with respect to one source, part shortest path to every other vertex.
every other vertex. We can use Dijkstra's on every other vertex. Then it will give shortest path to all other nodes. I mean, all the parts will pairs will be
Great,
covered.
great, great. This is the answer, Shashank. Great. You got this is the approach that one can follow. What Shashank has told me, with respect to S, we will run Dijkstra. We will find shortest path to every other vertex. And with respect to D1, I will again run this Dijkstra algorithm or Bellman-Ford algorithm, having D1 as a source. Then again, I will run D2 as a source, D3 as a source, D4 as a source, D5 as a source. So in turn, when I was able to run all the vertices as a source, then I will got all pair shortest path. Solution to all pair shortest path. But let's see what is the problem in this approach. And what is this approach is called as? This approach is using greedy. because we have seen that in Bellman-Ford and Dijkstra all are based on greedy approach, right? So let us see what is the problem in this approach. So let me clear my board. So what is the running time, worst case running time of Dijkstra? Order of E log V. Yeah, you people must have an idea of this. Running time of Dijkstra is the order of E log V, right? So if I have to run for every other vertex, then it will become V times E log V. Done. And if it is a dense class of graphs, then edges are directly proportional to number of vertices square in case of dense graph. For a sparse graph, it is perfectly fine. This expression will done. But in case of dense, so it will convert into order of V into V square log V. Right. So it will become V order of V cube log V. बहुत बुरी बात. Something order of cube. Right. Okay. Let us check in case of Bellman-Ford. What is the issue? So let me again clear my board. In case of Bellman-Ford, the time complexity is order of EV because for every vertex I am running number of edges EV. Okay. Then again in case of dense graph, number of edges is directly proportional to square of vertices. Then it will become okay. First I have to run this Bellman-Ford algorithm for every vertex. So it will become as V into EV means V square E. Now for sparse it is perfectly fine, and in case of dense graph it will become V square into V square. It means order of power 4. Done. So order V for fourth power is very bad. So we have to find something else. So what is something else? Something else is we have to find a solution by dynamic programming, right? So in dynamic programming, what till now we have understood that we are breaking the problem into sub-problems, that sub-problems are overlapping sub-problems. Then we have to we try to find an optimal substructure property, and in this optimal substructure property what we are trying to do, and then we have to try to develop a solution bottom up matter, a table, right? The programming term refers to a table, and there should be a base condition, right? So let me first define what is my problem. My problem is there is a graph. In literature, it is said to be a directed graph. There is a graph where condition is edges can be negative. Edges can be negative. But there is no way that graph should contain a negative weight cycle. Negative weight cycles. Right? Because this algorithm doesn't have any mechanism to take care of negative weight cycle. If there exists a negative weight cycle, it will stuck into that negative cycle. It doesn't have any mechanism to come out of it. Like in Bellman-Ford, there was a mechanism. If it returns false, if there is a negative weight cycle, it returns true if there doesn't exist a negative weight cycle. Right? So we have to take care that there should not be any negative weight cycle. Done? Because if there is a negative weight cycle, every time you are getting a better shortest path estimate, better shortest path estimate, and you will be stuck into that loop. Right. So again, let me clear all drawings. Okay. So suppose mathematical formulation of this problem. Suppose V, this is set of vertices. 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 capital N. Right. And I select any of two vertices. Let us say most general I and J. This I and J belongs to this set of vertices. Right. Now, I'm defining a term Dij. What is the meaning of Dij? Can somebody throw a light on it? Dij is the weight of edge that exists between vertex I and J. Simple. Dij is weight of edge that exists between I and J. Done? Now, there is a twist in the story. I am putting a K. The meaning of Dijk is that I am taking vertices up to K, starting from 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 K vertices. And this set, I can choose intermediate vertices. Let me take one example for clarification of you people. Let me repeat first this term. Dijk, shortest distance between the vertex I and J, where I can have intermediate vertices from this set. Right. Suppose this set is Dij2. It will clear your doubts. What is the meaning of this Dij square or Dij raised to power 2? The meaning of Dij raised to power 2 is that the shortest distance between I and J, where I can select intermediate vertices from the set starting from 1 up to K. So here value is 2. Right? Suppose this is the vertex 1, this is vertex 2. So one path could be from I to 1 and 1 to J. I, 1, J. One path could be I to 2 to J. I to 2 to J. And one path could be I to 1, 1 to 2 to J. I, 1 to J. And there could be another path that holds path between I and J, direct path, I to J. Among all these paths, I will select value of Dij to that is minimum of all these. Why minimum? Why not maximum? Because we are trying to optimize shortest distance between the vertices I and J. Right. Am I able to make clear this point? Please do respond. Am I able to clear this point? Okay, Shweta, thank you. And anybody is having any kind of doubt, he or she can discuss it with me, because this is a very key concept, and people are not able to get the grasp or hold of this concept. फिर वही रास्ता बचेगा, छत पे जाएंगे, DIJ के टन 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 टन। Done? Should I move forward? ये मैं बार बार कहता हूँ, कंप्यूटर साइंस में हर चीज का लॉजिक होता है नहीं होता है, ऐसा नहीं होता है कि होता है इसलिए आप पढ़ लीजिए, ऐसा कुछ होता ही नहीं है। कोई भी सब्जेक्ट हो, हर चीज का लॉजिक होता है। अब मुझे नहीं आता तो मैं बोलूंगा ऐसा होता है, पढ़ लो। चलिए, किसी को डिस्कस करना है इस पॉइंट पे? नहीं, चलिए, वेरी गुड। सो मैं आगे बढ़ता हूँ। लेट मी क्लियर ऑल माय ड्राइंग्स। ओके, अभी मैं रिकर्सिव इक्वेशन फॉर्म करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, मेरी हेल्प करिएगा आप लोग, ठीक है? DIJ के, मुझे कुछ नहीं पता इसके बारे में, तो इस टर्म की मीनिंग में क्लियर करने की कोशिश करता हूं। शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस बिटवीन वर्टेक्स I and J that can have up to k intermediate vertices. Either it can have up to k intermediate vertices or none, right? So intermediate vertices can be 1, 2, 3, dot 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 up to k. Done. Now, let us suppose this value comes to some value 1, whatever you want to say, right? Now, again, I'm borrowing this concept from NAPSAC, Dynamic Programming Concept. In that class, I again told you that for the ith item, I have choice. And I can have that ith item or I cannot have that ith item. So same logic applies over here. For what is k, I have choice. What is the meaning of choice? Whether I can take that kth vertex as an intermediate vertex, or I don't want to take that kth vertex as intermediate vertex. So first, I don't want, or I'm not allowed to take kth vertex. So it will become problem of finding shortest distance between vertex I and J. Now k is not allowed. So what is allowed? You are allowed up to k minus 1 vertices. Right? Clear? What is the other choice? What is the other way around? The other way around is you are allowed to take kth vertex. If you are allowed to take kth vertex, D, I, K, and you have taken the particular kth vertex, so what are the choices left for intermediate vertices? Now, from you can visualize in the figure I, J, and k. I to k, then you have to take from k to j. K to j. And now what is the choice for intermediate vertices? K minus 1. Now, as an intelligent human being, you will take better of two. And what is better for me or for us? It is minimum of these two. Because it is optimization problem. We are trying to find all pair shortest path class of algorithm. Now please go through it, this recursive equation. If anybody is having any kind of issue, he or she can discuss it with me directly. I am giving you 5 minutes to have a thorough visualization and to activate neurons. And if you find any difficulty, then you can discuss it with me. 68 Kumar Gaurav Pandey, are you there in the class?
Yes, sir.
Gaurav, today you are going to provide me absence list. Again, I'm starting from sequentially for 68, 69, 71. That's why I'm picking you, right? Is it fine for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Gaurav. So anybody want to initiate a discussion on this equation or comfortable? I always encourage discussion for sake of better understanding. To not initiating a discussion is simply indication to me that either you people not understood or understood. Anyways, it's up to you. Nothing can be done. So I'm moving forward. Now, I would like to take an example to clear your concept about this term. So let me take these vertices 1, 2, 3, 4, and the edges are 1 to 2 having weight 11, and 1 to 3 is 1, 3 to 4 2, 4 to 2 is 3, 1 to 4 is 6, and 3 to 2 is 7. Right. Now I want to form a matrix D0. What is the meaning of D0? Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of D0? Please, somebody give a try. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sir, initial weights.
Very good try, but you have to modify your sentence to reach the correct or accurate.
Initial weights from every vertex to all the other vertices.
A little bit more. You're on the right track. Just refer to term this. The meaning of this term is the shortest distance between vertex I and j with k intermediate vertices, right? Here, this is a matrix with zero intermediate vertices. So zero means k with zero intermediate vertices. It means direct edge widths, direct whatever the vertices having edges, that width. Yeah, simply weight matrix, right? And why this term zero means I'm not having any intermediate vertex. From 1 to 1, it is 0. From 1 to 2, direct edge weight, that is 11. 1 to 3, 1. 1 to 4, 6. 2 to 1, it is 11. It is undirected graph, and but this algorithm which we are developing a dynamic programming solution, it is for directed graph. But for sake of better understanding, I have taken this undirected graph, or for simplicity of calculation. 2 to 2, 0. 2 to 3, 7. 2 to 4, 3. 3 to 1, 3 to 1, 1. 3 to 2, 7. 3 to 3, 0. 3 to 4, 2. 4 to 1, 6. And 4 to 2, 3. And 4 to 3 is 2. And 4 to 4 is 0. So please confirm the entries, and if anybody is having any kind of difficulty, he or she can discuss it with me for entries. Just the meaning is let me clear the term D0 with respect to this term. This is D1, 2. Let me take this entry. Let me take this entry. Yeah. So this entry is D1, 2 and 0. So a shortest path between the vertex 1 and 2, where you cannot have any intermediate vertex. So this simply means the weight of edge from vertex number 1 to 2, that is given as 11. Got it? Let me take one more int. 1 to 3. So this term will be actually D130. And what is the meaning of D130? A shortest path between vertex number 1 and 3, where you cannot have any intermediate vertex. It means zero intermediate vertex. That is 1 you are given. And D140. D140, shortest path between vertex number 1 and 4, where you cannot allow to have any intermediate vertex. So it means a direct edge, that is given as 6. Done. So let me erase all these terms. And so what is in general Dij0? It is a matrix. If vertices are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a collection of D110, D120, D130, D140, D210, D220, D230, D240, D310, D320, D330, D440, sorry, 340. This one D41, 0, D4 2 0, D4 3 0, D4 4 0. Right. So these entries are corresponding to these matrices. Okay, comfortable everyone? Just check whether you are comfortable or not. Okay, let me find one of entries to make it more clear for you people. So let me have an eraser. तुम लोग आज कुछ डिस्कस नहीं कर रहे हो क्या? मतलब तभी नशा उतरा नहीं है दिवाली का क्या? जाओ डिस्कशन भूल गए हो। D1 D1 का मतलब निकालते हैं भाई। 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4। इस D1 का मतलब क्या होगा? Dij1। देखिए यही तो मतलब होगा Dij1। मतलब हिंदी में कहानी ये है, I से J वर्टेक्स के बीच